Welcome, everybody. If you don't know me, I'm John Meyer. I'm the provost of Lafayette College. I come out of the mathematics department, and I have the absolute honor of getting to welcome everybody to one of the most wonderful events of the year. I'm going to spend a little time here. Do you want to sit down? All right, first up, I have to say, especially since we had the whole walk up and wearing regalia, and I see a lot of people who are dressed in definitely some wonderful dress-up clothes. In case no one knows it, for academics, this is what we wear to parties. So that's what this event is. This is a celebration. There was a whole lot of hard work involved in getting people here, but what we're doing right now is having a great time honoring all of the hard work that has occurred to make this event happen. All right, so that's the groundwork. We're going to have fun. I do want to welcome all of my faculty colleagues here, and I want to thank them for all of the work they've done in helping our students get to this point. I definitely want to thank all of the staff who are helping to make this event possible. I want to thank all the students, family, and friends who are here in the room, and I know we've got some people doing the live stream thing, so thank you all for participating as well. All right, so I've already pointed out that this is a fun event. I also want to notice it's a marker on a journey. There is no doubt about it. And I want to also acknowledge that a lot of you got to this point through a lot of different routes. Some of you may have arrived, some of you may have arrived saying, I want to be a biology major. I know that's what I want to do. You take Biology 111, you go, you write a thesis. It's an absolutely wonderful experience. Maybe you give a talk at a national meeting, and now you're getting a prize from the biology department, and everyone's delighted. You might have arrived at Lafayette College saying, I want to be a biology major. You took basic social questions. You said, hey, philosophy is a pretty awesome thing to do. Maybe I'm going to be a philosophy major. And you took a left turn, and you ended up doing wonderful things. Whatever it was, the journey that you were on that got you here, it got you here. And one of the things you're going to learn as for those of you who are graduating, not everyone's graduating, but for those of you who are graduating, one of the things you're going to learn is you can have a plan, and it's great to have a plan. And sometimes something's going to come along and you say, hey, I see a new plan. And that's a fine thing. And you're going to do wonderful if a new plan comes along. You're going to have successes just like the one you're enjoying today. All right. With that being said, I want to introduce our stage party here. We have Nicole Farmer-Hurd, the president of the college. We have James Dearworth, who's the chair of the Academic Progress Committee in the Department of Biology, which is why I picked on biology. We have our speaker today, Tanuja Majumdar-Dani, class of 1993. We have Ariel Mensch from the Department of Chemistry. Justin Hines, also from the Department of Chemistry. Is there a reason why the Academic Progress Committee is represented by biology, chemistry, and chemistry? Lucky, okay. And we have Ingrid Furness from the Department of Art and also the interim dean of the faculty. All right, now I'd like to invite Professor Dearworth up to the mic.
Thank you, Provost Meyer. Welcome everyone to today's honors convocation ceremony. Certainly is an honor to be here. I always look forward to these events, as they are one of the fun events that we have here to recognize and celebrate the success of our students. Of course, when we celebrate success, it comes with challenges. And just to relate something, I try to come up with some sort of comment to say. I was watching the Sunday morning show. I enjoy watching that on Sunday. And they were interviewing Michael J. Fox, and so he's, of course, the actor that was in Family Ties, if some of you are old enough to know what that is. And then he was in the Back to the Future movies. But, of course, now He's an advocate for Parkinson's disease, so of course, which is something that he has, unfortunately. But he was asked during the interview, how does he keep going? And this just struck a chord, and I thought it related to something or connected to something I could say. And he said, "Gratitude sustains optimism." That's the way he keeps going. So I just appreciated that comment that he had said, and I just want to echo the gratitude that I have in a similar sort of way, and echo that. So thanks to the Academic Progress Committee for a good year, the members of that, the deans, the fellow committee members, of course, the organizer of the event, Sarah Jens. Appreciate all the work that it takes to come about and make this event successful. Of course, the faculty that are here and the students, thank you very much. It's been a great year. Please accept our praise. And of course, our alum speaker, thank you. Thank you for being here. So it's being thankful for our success that keeps us moving forward. I will end with that. Thank you for coming. Please enjoy the day. And now I would like to invite President Hurd to the podium.
Good afternoon. Oh, come on. I know you're more excited to be here, students. Good afternoon. There we go. There we go. I see the love and light radiating now. It was just Monday night. We were right here. Some of you were here. Most of you were here, right? For a senior speaker, and we spent some time talking about joy and gratitude. We're now another moment of joy and gratitude. So well done. I have been looking forward to this day for a while. A couple of thoughts as we start. First of all, parents, family who are here, Tanisha, I heard the shout out from your family back there. But family, friends that came, welcome to campus. We're thrilled you're here. To all of our parents, families, loved ones on the live stream, I'm so glad you're going to celebrate our students, even if it's remotely today. You are one of many reasons why we are grateful on this campus today. A couple of thoughts. First, I have been doing, in this very space, welcoming prospective students and parents into the space for the last month. And I meet them at 9 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes people are a little tired. And the first thing I say to them is, I'm so glad you're here because this is a special place. And the first thing I say is, we take our academics really seriously here. And it's the first thing I say because it's true. It's the first thing I say because we're a college. And it gives me a chance to talk about our awesome faculty. So I want to pivot to them for a moment because they are here. None of this happens without our faculty. When I think about who stretches you, who moves you, who makes you your best self, for those of you who are seniors, can you think back 4 years ago who you were and think about who you are today? And I would guess that some of these awesome people over here are the reason you are shining the way you are today. So can we pause for a moment and just give a great round of applause to our faculty members? So I tell those prospective students, you're going to come to a place where we do scholarship and we have hard conversations and you will stretch and you'll be a different person after 4 years, and I believe that with my whole heart. The second thing I say to them is you're going to be part of a community, and I think we do community very well here. And I always give the example of the swings. And I think the swings are a great example of especially this group of students who've gone through something so hard with COVID. So again, I want to hold your honors day in the context if you've done this through a very hard time. So I always tell the story of the swings. I love the swings for 3 reasons. They tell us 3 things about our students. We take our academics very seriously here, and we understand there's still room for play and joy. I love those swings because it reminds me that you all are learning and pushing and growing, but you're also doing play and joy, and how important that is in this world. So thank you for the gift of the swings for that. And I love seeing you on there. And by the way, I see faculty and staff and even trustees, Tanisha, on those swings, so you play and joy for all of us. The second thing I tell them about the swings is, again, after this hard mental health moment, you all created space where there wasn't space to take care of your mental health. And so again, I'm so proud of you of the journey you took to achieve this honor and to also take care of yourself while you were doing it. That's what those swings mean to me. And third, and maybe some of the adults in the room might want to close their ears when I say this, but I love those swings because you didn't ask for permission, you asked for forgiveness. And if there was ever a time to figure out where the guardrails are, where you can use your voice, where you might actually try to flap your wings a little bit, it's while you're in college. And I hope you did that in your labs. I hope you did that in classrooms. I hope you experimented. I hope you thought long and hard about how can I be part of this community and how can I make it a better place than I found it. There's no doubt in my mind you did, so thank you for that. So after sharing that with prospective students and families, I always say the third thing I love about this place is, especially for a student, you will be able to use your voice here. We are small enough that you'll get to know your faculty, and you'll have these mentoring relationships, and they will change you, and you will change them. But we don't do processed cheese here. You're not in classrooms with 300 students. We're here to do the kinds of things you just did, which is write a thesis, achieve honors, push yourself, get ready for what's next. So thank you for embodying everything I've been saying to all these prospective students in such a beautiful way today. The final thing I say to them, and some of the faculty have heard me say this because I say it again at 2 o'clock when they join me, is we are most powerful, I believe this with my whole heart, we are most powerful when our head, our hands, and our heart are in alignment. Today is an absolute celebration of that alignment. Think about it, your head. You engaged in the scholarship. You challenged yourself. You went into something deep. You explored it. You engaged your head. Your hands, right? You did the work, whether it was on a computer, talking to a professor, in some archives, whatever it was, in the lab, you actually did the work with your hands, right? And your heart. I hope all of you found your heart in this too, that there was a passion project. There was something that sparked. What I love about our students, and I think about you all the time this way, is you are sparks. And if our faculty and staff, all of us who are here to serve you, do it well, by the time we get to this stage, you're now fireworks. So I'm looking at all these amazing fireworks, and I'm here to say we are all very, very proud of you. Thank you for making Lafayette what it is. I will now pivot to our speaker, Tanuja. I won't embarrass her too much, but Tanuja is one of those lights that got me here. Tanuja was on the search committee. I will never forget the first time I met her by Zoom. She said to me how much she loved this place. We talked about how much Easton has changed. We talked about how this place was something that ignited her, right? She was a spark, and with her father and mother and all of her family committed to this incredible community, they have made it fireworks over and over and over again. Tanuja is now sitting on the steering committee of our strategic planning, so she's ready for our next round of fireworks. But she's somebody who I'm glad to say is a friend and is an incredible trustee, an alum, and a family member. If we can all welcome Tanuja.
Thank you, President Hurd. Wow, it is great to come home. So I'm going to step away from this podium, and hopefully you can hear me, because I'm not a podium person. I'm coming home, so I just need to say something. 24 years ago, I was married here in this interfaith chapel. 24 years ago, my father, Professor Majumdar, oh, I can't look over there, walked me down this very aisle. 30 years ago, I graduated from Lafayette College. That's kind of hard for me to say out loud. 30 years ago. 30 years ago in April, I just finished my honors thesis. It was a mad sprint to graduation, to get to the other side of that thing. And the one thing I really wish I did was just to slow down for a moment and just let it sink in. So I have an offer for you, an invitation, just to take a few breaths with me. It's a gift to yourself. Let it all sink in. You've come so far, our honorees. So if you so choose, I invite you, an invitation, not an obligation, to place your left hand on your belly, your right hand on your heart, and just close down your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. And take a couple of breaths with me, in through the nose and out through the mouth, and just take in this moment. Take a deep inhale through the nose, and sigh it out. Take a deep inhale through the nose, filling up your lungs, your belly, and sigh it out. One more time with me. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Maybe hold it at the top. And let anything that doesn't serve you in this moment go. And before you come back into this space, just notice what's happening. Notice what's happening in your body, and notice how you feel. And take in this moment. My heart is beating pretty fast under my hand. Thank you all for indulging me in that. I needed that. You're all about to step into the other side, this cusp of graduation. I know some of you are also third-year students, but you're going to be here soon enough. As you step into your own, if you leave with one message today, is that you don't have to do it alone. You have your community, you have your home here at Lafayette. I want to thank the ACP committee, President Hurd, the esteemed faculty, staff, administration, alumni, all those live streaming, parents, my fellow trustees, and most of all, the honorees here today. Thank you for allowing me just to share a few words of wisdom with you. Again, as you step into your own, you're not necessarily going to know what that path takes you from here to there, from there to here. 30 years ago, when I graduated from Lafayette College, a lot of feelings were coming up. I was ready to go to graduate school. I had a path. I set my heart upon a reward of being a college professor. And it was a mad sprint to the finish. I didn't realize that my life was going to take a lot of zigs and zags and turns along the way. But it did. And every step of the way, lots of lessons were learned. A lot of wisdom was accumulated, and a lot of heartache as well. I didn't realize 30 years ago that an aspiring college professor would go on to be a corporate attorney, an energy executive, a climate activist, a yoga teacher, and a social justice movement leader. I did not know where that path was going to take me. When I was on campus here as an anthropology and sociology major, Professor Niles, Professor Taylor, Professor Bauer taught me about rites of passage. It's that thing you get to on the other side. But the real magic happens in that liminal phase, the in-between phase, those itchy, uncomfortable places of discomfort. And that's where the growth and the magic happens. I didn't realize that, though, because I had my heart set on this reward to be a college professor. And I didn't realize that this life was going to take me all over the place. And I didn't do it alone all along the way, the choices that I made, the decisions that I made. I connected and engaged. But we know, because we've all experienced it in very different ways, what this COVID pandemic has trained us to do. It trained us to disconnect and to disengage and to basically just go inward. And we're really practicing right now, right? We're here, all in person, flexing some new muscles of connection and engagement because we can't do this alone. 30 years ago, I needed to raise my hand and ask for help because I was very fixated on going to graduate school. So fixated that I kind of forgot to think about what actually happens once you get there. I was very ready academically, there's no doubt about it, but I wasn't ready socially or emotionally. Mind you, this is my story. I grew up on this beautiful campus. My father was a biology professor for almost 40 years. My mom was the childcare teacher in the childcare center for almost 40 years. Fixtures on this campus. It's very much home. I have siblings who graduated from Lafayette College. I got married here. I played on those monkey trees out there, which I think aren't there anymore. Swinging on swings now. But as soon as I got to graduate school, I knew it was a mistake. It was not for me. I set my heart on a reward and not on the journey. And I fell into this despair of deep shame and a lot of pain and failure and disappointment. Like, what did I do? And I share this story with you because it's so important sometimes that we share our vulnerabilities, because that's where the most powerful connections are made. I raised my hand. I raised my hand and I asked for help. I raised my hand to my trusted advisors, my kitchen cabinet of folks who are my most trusted advisors, those who only had my best interest at heart. Those were my parents, who I will tell you, I was so afraid of disappointing them. I called upon my professors in the Gov Law department, Professor Beer, Professor McCartney, Professor Peleg, who all wrote me these glorious recommendations for graduate school. And I came home to Lafayette College. I remember going back to Kirby Hall of Civil Rights. Honestly, a smaller person, so much pain. I was so worried about disappointing them. But I came back home, and what I received was permission, so much permission to chart my own path, that this happens, that we make mistakes, but what are you going to learn from it? And it was this episode of my life that I'm sharing with you because the seeds of empathy and tenderness were planted deep within my soul. Empathy and tenderness for myself, some self-compassion, well, a great deal of humility, and a lot of empathy and tenderness for others. And that very much shaped how I showed up in this world, shaped the path I was going to take. It actually made me much more brave, made me much more of a risk taker, because I got through that chapter of my life. But I raised my hand to my kitchen cabinet. These are my peers, my seniors, my juniors. But it also empowered me to put my hand out and offer some help to those others. Because it's so important that we share our vulnerability and we raise our hands when we need help and we offer our hands to others when they need help. As Pema Chodron, Buddhist nun and spiritual leader writes, we cannot begin to step into the shoes of others until we begin to step into our own. And it's just so very important that we own our vulnerabilities, that we share them with others, that we connect and engage with others. And the call for action I have for you is, whose kitchen cabinet are you going to be on? I stood on the shoulders of many, but I made sure that my shoulders were there for others. Because I learned so much when I was on many, many kitchen cabinets, providing guidance and advice to my peers, to my mentors, to my friends. That's really another place where the magic happens. So I share some of these stories with you to own your wisdom, your path, own your vulnerability, to take good care of yourself. Not because it's selfish. Oh no, quite the contrary. It's as my mother told me when I brought home my baby 21 years ago. You cannot take any care of anyone until you start to take care of yourself first. You've got to put the oxygen mask on. You've got to take care of yourself. You've got to take the moments to breathe. Because as we know, we live in a pretty hard time right now. I don't have to tell you the injustices we face, the violence that's happening all around us, the war on our bodily sovereignty. It's on your phone. It's bombarding us every second of the day. And we can choose to disconnect and disengage. And we can choose to become numb to it. Or we can take action. And we can engage, and we can connect with others, arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder. But this is exhausting work. And the fight for good, it's a long fight, and we need to sustain ourselves. And so I share these words of wisdom to own your wisdom, to own your vulnerability, to raise your hand, ask for help, to offer your hand to help so that you're stronger and resilient. so that you can have the courageous conversations, so that you have what you need to confront the injustices, to have the conversations that are so difficult, particularly with those we don't agree with, that you can stand arm in arm. And when the time is right, you step back and say, not now. I got to tap out. I got to take a breather. I got to take care of myself, so that you can come back in and say, I'm ready. But you have to know yourself. You have to take good care of yourself. You have all the tools. You have the education. Honorees, you did the work. And here you are to celebrate you, and I'm so proud of you. But I implore upon you to take good care of yourself, because we need you. We need you. You're ready, and you can always come home, right back home to Lafayette College. You have a community here, you have your peers here, you have your faculty members, your advisors. And don't forget to take a breath. Honorees, the light in me honors and sees the light in every single one of you. Namaste. I thank you all again. Thank you for having me. It's great to be home.
Thank you, Tanuja. I'm Professor Justin Hines from the Chemistry Department, and I wanted to just comment on something Tanuja said. She said that the growth occurs in those itchy, uncomfortable in-between moments. So I think that there's a lot of growth happening up here on the stage in these robes. It's good. Also, I don't generally dare to correct President Hurd ever, but I feel like I'm channeling Professor Notaro to say that we're going to still go with permission, not forgiveness in the chemistry labs, okay? So still go with in those places, yeah. Provost Meyer said that we're all here wearing our party robes, so we're going to finally get this party started. Before I begin, I just want to say that there are a lot of awards to be given. And so in order to stick to our timeline, we're going to ask the audience to hold their applause until the end of each department, right? And we'll invite you to applaud then. I'm going to go ahead and say it's totally okay if you want to hoot and holler and cheer on your students that are getting these awards as they're going, after the names are read. So we'll get started. The awards from advising and co-curricular programs are presented by Associate Dean of Advising and Senior Class Dean Chris Salina. There are 2 recipients of the Posse Leadership and Engagement Award. Natalia Baez. And Andrea Fiorella Rivera Conti. The Professor Carolyn Van Dyke Prize is presented to Angela Bucheska. Presenting the James F. Bryant Excellence Award is head women's lacrosse coach Katie McConnell. The James F. Bryant Excellence Award is presented to Colleen McNamara. And this concludes the Advising and Co-Curricular Program Awards. Awards from Africana Studies are presented by Program Chair Wendy Wilson Fall. There are 3 recipients of the Africana Studies Scholastic Award: Houston Bell in absentia, Marito Koulibaly, and Serena Sharpless in absentia. That concludes the Africana Studies Awards. Awards from Alumni Relations are presented by the President of the Lafayette Alumni of the Lehigh Valley, Amanda Gray. There are 4 recipients of the Lafayette Alumni of the Lehigh Valley Scholarship Award: Christian Maxwell Comby, Nathan Kornfind, Michaela Schmidt, and Renee Soika. And that concludes the Alumni Relations Awards. Awards from Anthropology and Sociology are presented by Department Head Rebecca Cassane. The Amanda Miner Award for Campus and Anthropology and Sociology Department Leadership is presented to Natalia Baez. The recipient for the Carolyn Byington Award for Global Citizenship is Maria Bossert. And finally, the Paul Bernan Memorial Prize in Sociology goes to Ednetta Fulmore, in absentia. And that ends the awards for, I think. Yes. Awards from art are presented by Visiting Assistant Professor of Art Sun Yu. The Arthur J. and Barbara S. Rothkopf Award in Art History is presented to Caitlin Carr in absentia. The Ed Kearns Award is presented to Andrea Caloza Salazar. The Frederick Knecht Detweiler Award Prize is presented to Maya Neeland. The Thomas G. Yohei Memorial Prize in Studio Art is presented to Jennifer Juyu. In absentia. Sorry about that. The Vivian B. Noblet Prize in Studio Art is presented to Renee Mercero in absentia and Isabel Sorels. And that concludes the art presentations. The award from Asian Studies is presented by Program Chair So-Yoon Park. The Outstanding Achievement in Asian Studies Award is presented to Nicholas Sama. And that concludes the Asian Studies Awards. Awards from Biology are presented by Associate Professor of Biology Nancy Waters. The David F. Nalvin Prize is presented to Brooke Weiss. There are 3 recipients of the Willis Roberts Hunt Biology Prize. Saqib Arnab. Talia Newman. And Declan Winters. And that concludes the biology prizes. Awards from chemical and biomolecular engineering are presented by Department Head Lindsay So. The American Institute of Chemical Engineers Donald F. Othmer Award and the Dr. E. L. McMillan K. Malhotra Prize are presented to Jack Karikas. The American Institute of Chemists Award and the Lehigh Valley section of the American Institute of Chemical Engineering Awards are presented to Danielle Cherie Lemus. A second Lehigh Valley section of the American Institute of Chemical Engineers Award is presented to Catherine Pierre-Louis. The recipient of the Carl J. Staska Prize is Sabrina Gonzalez. The Charles Duncan Fraser Prize and the Lehigh Valley section of the American Institute of Chemical Engineers Award is presented to Megan Dodge. A second Charles Duncan Fraser Prize is awarded to Devin Rosemarin. The Donald U. Noblet Prize in Chemical Engineering is presented to Erin Eberts in absentia and Catherine Weston. The Dr. E. L. McMillan K. Malhotra Prize is presented to Sophia Kosednar. The Lehigh Valley section of the American Chemical Society Award is presented to Jaleesa Camden. In absentia, take it again. There are two recipients of the Lehigh Valley section of the ASM Award, Catherine Wright in absentia and Finlay Smith in absentia. The Luther F. Whitmer Prize is presented to Kayla Wozni. And that concludes the Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering Awards.
Awards from Chemistry, presented by Department Head Chip Natero. The American Chemical Society Division of Environmental Chemistry Undergraduate Award in Environmental Chemistry is presented to Camille Carthy. The American Chemical Society Division of Inorganic Chemistry Undergraduate Award in Inorganic Chemistry and the J. Hunt Wilson Prize in Analytical Chemistry are presented to Anna Bogus. The American Chemical Society Division of Organic Chemistry Undergraduate Award in Organic Chemistry is presented to Rebecca Hartman. The American Chemical Society Division of Physical Chemistry Undergraduate Award in Physical Chemistry is presented to Haley Marzano. The American Chemical Society Prize is presented to 2 students, Herschel Bobzar and Teresa Chua. The American Chemical Society Undergraduate Award in Analytical Chemistry is presented to Bridget Corpus. American Institute of Chemists Award in Biochemistry is presented to Samantha Ganser. The American Institute of Chemists Award in Chemistry is presented to Abby Pittanati. The Carl Staska Prize is awarded to 2 students, Zoe Bragg and Brianna Leopold. The Royal Society of Chemistry Certificate of Excellence is presented to Natalie Newman. The William Forrest Hart Chemistry Prize is presented to Betsy Foker. That concludes the chemistry awards. Awards from Civil and Environmental Engineering are presented by Assistant Professor Krista Kelleher. The B. Vincent Viscomi Civil Engineering Student Prize and the Carol Phillips Bassett Prize are presented to John Ribnick in absentia. 2 more Carol Phillips Bassett Prizes are awarded to Peter Canavari and Sam Huffman. The Russell C. Brinker Prize in Civil Engineering is presented to Christopher Good. That concludes the Civil and Environmental Engineering Awards. Awards from the Economics Department presented by Department Head David Stiefel. The Department of Economics Award for Scholastic Excellence and the Robert F. Hunsicker Educational Prize are presented to Sean Schuster. The J.H. Tarbell Award is presented to Nicholas Tufano in absentia. The John H. Allen Prize is presented to Eric Reagan. The Pennsylvania Institute of Certified Public Accountants Award is presented to Felicitas Hannes. That concludes the Economics Awards. Awards from the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department are presented by Department Head Ying-Chu Yu. The Finley W. and Ethelwine H. Smith Electronic Engineering Prize is presented to Shouping Ying. The J.J. Ebers Memorial Award is presented to Henry Grauty. The Lawrence J. Conover Electrical Engineering Prize is presented to Boris Shmulevich. The recipient of the Daniel P. O'Neill Memorial Prize, awarded by the Engineering Division, is Zachary Fisk. That concludes the Electrical and Computer Engineering Awards. Awards from Engineering Studies are presented by Program Chair Ben Cohen. The recipient of the Charles L. Best Memorial Prize in Engineering Studies is Elizabeth Diazik. There are 3 recipients in absentia of the William J. McLean Tau Beta Pi Prize: Virginia Parparsin, Padmanabh Kaushik, and Finley Smith. And that concludes the Engineering Study Awards. The English Department Awards will be presented by Department Head Chris Phillips. The Class of 1883 Prize and the winner of the H. McKnight Black Poetry and Literature Prize is presented to Shirley Liu. Eight recipients of the Gilbert Prize are Riley Hughes, Cecilia Montefar, Maya Neeland, Jacob Potter, Maria Cangro, Demarius Gomez, Tania Hernandez, and Grace Sanborn. The 9th recipient of the Gilbert Prize and the winner of the Jean Corey Poetry Prize is Madeline Marriott. Honorable mention for the Jean Corey Poetry Prize is presented to Julia Greeley. Honorable mention for the H. McKnight Black Poetry and Literature Prize is presented to Faith Weishart. That concludes the English Department awards. Two awards in environmental science and studies will be presented by Program Chair Megan Rothenberger. The Cole Family Prize in Environmental Studies is presented to Madison Leibisch. The Megan Rothenberger Prize in Environmental Science or Studies is presented to Olivia Starantino. That concludes the Environmental Science and Studies Awards. The Benjamin F. Barge Oratorical Prize for the Forensic Program will be presented by, okay, just checking, Dave Sunderland. It's not what I have. The recipients are Jeffrey Alexander, in absentia, Joshua Hale, Benjamin Herman, Katarina Krugman, Shirley Liu, and Noah Wilk. That concludes the Forensics Program Awards.
Presenting the Germanowski Student Award in Earth and Environmental Science will be Megan Rothenberger. The recipient of this award is Evan Flint. This concludes the Earth and Environmental Science Awards. Awards from Geology and Environmental Geoscience are presented by Professor David Sunderland. The recipient of the Arthur Montgomery Geology Award is Olivia Nujar. The Guy and Joyce Hovis Geology Award is presented to Heather Aikman. There are 3 recipients of the James L. Dyson Geology Award: Andrew Bosher, Maria Gross, and Juliana Huba. This concludes the awards from the Geology and Environmental Geosciences. Awards from Government and Law are presented by Professor of Government and Law Josh Miller. The next student is receiving the Eugene P. Chase Government Prize and the Minerva and Emil V. Novak Prize in Government and Law, Charles Mirsky. There are 4 additional recipients of the Minerva and Emil V. Novak Prize in Government and Law. They are Kate Ahern, Dylan Gooding, Nathan Kornfind, and Rye Stratton. The Paul Tully Memorial Prize is presented to Leah Allison Bartlett. And Julia Mattiucci. This concludes the Government and Law Awards. Awards from health professions are presented by Health Professions Faculty Advisor Nancy Waters. There are 2 recipients of the Dr. and Mrs. Schwimmer Prize in honor of Theodore A. Distiller, Anna Bogus, and Camille Carthy. The recipient of the Joseph Watt Kubler Jr. Memorial Prize is Devin Hallahan. The Mark I. Koser MD Award and the Sanford G. Bluestein Award are presented to Emma Taylor. A second Sanford G. Bluestein Award is also presented to Dana Javins. This concludes the Health Professions Awards. Awards from History are presented by Department Head Rebecca Peet. The Class of the 1910 Prize is presented to Mackenzie Berner. And Meredith McGee. A third Class of 1910 Prize and the Colonel Wilson B. Powell Award are presented to Joshua Hale. There are 3 recipients of the Diane Wyndham Shaw Prize for Excellence in Historical Methods. They are Gabriela Pasantes Velarde in absentia, Olivia Puzio, and Olivia Hoffman in absentia. The recipient of the Phi Alpha Theta Beta Xi Chapter Prize for the Best Introductory Seminar Paper is Martin Familetti. And that concludes the awards from history. Awards from International Affairs are presented by Program Chair Angelica von Wall. The 2 recipients of the International Affairs Hatfield Award for Global Scholarship are Janet Salichel Quina and Matos Menda Tedesi. There are also 2 recipients of the Rado Pribic Prize in International Affairs, Leila Ennis and Nicholas Sama. This concludes the awards from International Affairs. Awards from international and off-campus education are presented by Director Rochelle Kiesler. The David A. Portlock Study Abroad Memorial Prize is presented to Tanushree Sho Mandal. The Study Abroad Good Citizenship Award is presented to Abigail Schlotterbeck. And this concludes the awards from international and off-campus education. The award from the Jewish Studies program is presented by Assistant Professor Monica Rice. The Ludwig and Beatrice B. Muehlfelder Prize is awarded to Miles Wolfe. And Emma Mickle. This concludes the prizes from Jewish Studies. Awards from the Landis Center for Community Engagement are presented by Director Chelsea Maurice. The Community-Based Learning and Research Prize is presented to Rachel Hurley. The Eleanor Winkie Prize is presented to Avery Besh. And Annie Craig. And finally, the Jeremy Sachs Award is presented to Caitlin Hilly. This concludes the awards from the Landis Center for Community Engagement. Awards in Spanish for Languages and Literary Studies are presented by Professor Michelle Jeffrin Vinci. The Frank Klein Baker Spanish and Latin American Civilization Award is presented to Andrea Fiorella Riviera Conti. Michaela Schmidt. Emma Taylor. Sarah Vaca. This concludes the awards in Spanish for Languages and Literary Studies. Awards in French and Russian for Languages and Literary Studies are presented by Department Head Olga Anna Duhl. The Rado Pribic Prize in Beginning Russian Language is awarded to Peyton Schreiber. There are 6 recipients of the James Alexander Petrie Prize in French. They are Lu Tai, Piper Davis, Fiona Geddes, Hope Babazi, Olivia Starantino, and Nicholas Hatala in absentia. This concludes the awards in French and Russian for Languages and Literary Studies. The award in Classics for Languages and Literary Studies is presented by Dean of the Curriculum and Associate Professor of Classics, Marky Stubashar. The George H. Catlin Prize is presented to Grace O'Mara. Grace is also receiving the Rex Roth Prize in German for Culture or Literature Studies from Assistant Professor of German Dennis Johansson. Awards in German for Languages and Literary Studies are presented by Assistant Professor of German Dennis Johansson. Receiving the Rex Roth Prize in German for Language Studies are Kai Four, and Henry Grote. The 2 recipients of the Rex Roth Prize in German Outstanding Senior Award are Leila Ennis and Nathan Kornfind. This concludes the awards in German for Languages and Literary Studies.
Awards in Mathematics, presented by Department Head Ethan Burkhoff. The Benjamin F. Barge Mathematical Prize is awarded to Fong Nam Vu. Sun Bum Lee, in absentia, and Rory Lundbeck, in absentia. The Gertrude M. Cox Statistics Award is presented to Jennifer Juyu, in absentia. The Wesley S. Mittman Prize is presented to Matthew Decker. The Wesley S. Mittman Prize and the Professor James P. Crawford Prize in Mathematics is presented to Jacob Porter. That concludes the Math Department awards. Awards in Mechanical Engineering are presented by Professor Brent Utter. The Carl G. Jr. and the Deborah B. Anderson Mechanical Engineering Prize are presented to Jeremiah Alterman, in absentia, and Christian Maxwell Comby. The Carl J. Ammerman Prize is presented to Manaka Gomi, and Faith Weishart. That concludes the prizes from Mechanical Engineering. Awards in Military Science will be presented by Jawan Broussard, Recruitment Operations Officer for the Steel Battalion. The American Legion Award for General Military Excellence and the Lafayette College President's Award are presented to Samantha Becker. The Lafayette College Lepper Award is presented to John Freeman, in absentia. The Military Order of Foreign Wars and the Lafayette College President's Award are presented to Brandon Liebensberger. The Sons of the American Revolution Award and the Lafayette College President's Award are presented to Daniela Spera. The National Sojourners Award is presented to Zachary Gill, in absentia. That concludes the awards for military science. The award in music is presented by Acting Department Head Kirk O'Riordan. Recipients of the John D. Raymond Music Award are Manaka Gomi, and Talia Newman. That concludes the music awards. Awards in neuroscience are presented by Program Chair Lisa Gable. There are two recipients of the William C. Rappold and Walter Oxley Neuroscience Prize. Herschel Bovsar, and Samantha Rebusel. That concludes the Neuroscience Awards. Awards in philosophy will be presented by Department Head Owen McLeod. The recipients of the Louise M. Olmsted Award in Ethics are Alexander Montesinos, and Azalea Danes in absentia. The recipient of the Louise M. Olmsted Award in Philosophy is Julia Banks. That concludes our awards in philosophy. The award in physics is presented by Professor of Physics Andy Doherty. The Physics Department Scholastic Award is presented to John Carlos Santos III. That concludes the Physics Awards. A new award from the Provost's office will be presented by Visiting Professor of Education, Kathy Novello. The Clay Ketchum Award is presented to Sophia Perkins. That concludes the Provost Office Awards. Awards in psychology are presented by Professor Louis Scatino. The Burton H. Cohen Memorial Prize is presented to Rachel Junta. The Herbert W. Rogers Psychology Prize is presented to Eliana Liebman. And Nadia Manasvi. That concludes the awards on psychology. Awards in religious studies presented by Department Head Eric Zokowski. There are 4 recipients of the David Fowler Atkins Jr. Prize. Fatimata Cham, Zubair Ali, Amaya Douglas, and Lisa Green. The Francis Shrunk Downs Award is presented to Perry Zimmerman. There are 2 recipients of the Lyman Coleman Prize. Laura Bedser and Avery Warmack. The Reverend J.W. and R.S. Porter Bible Prize is presented to Christina Athena Thone Nielsen. That concludes the Religious Studies Awards. Awards from Skillman Library presented by Dean of the Library, Charlotte Newens. The recipient of the David Bishop Skillman 1913 Library Prize is Sarah Vaca. That concludes the awards from the Skillman Library. From the theater department, the recipient of the I. Clinton Klein Prize is Becca Wiltz, in absentia. That concludes the awards from the theater department. Awards from Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies presented by Program Chair Mary Armstrong. The Professor Mary A. Armstrong Award in LGBTQ+ Studies is presented to Riley Hughes, and Nadia Monosfi. The Professor Susan A. Basso Prize for Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies is presented to Fatimata Cham. That concludes the giving of awards. I would like to invite you to join me once more in applauding all of our recipients. If you turn to the back of your program, you will note the list of prestigious fellowships and scholarship winners and finalists. Students, if you are listed as a winner or finalist here, please stand to be recognized for your outstanding achievements. Though not listed in your program, the Academic Progress Committee would like to acknowledge the Pepper Prize finalists who are in the room: Charlie, Herschel, Jeffrey, Fatimata, Annie, Caitlin, Meredith, Dylan, and Thalia. Please stand and be recognized. It is now my pleasure to invite Professor Ingrid Furness, Interim Dean of the Faculty, to the podium to give the closing remarks.
Hi, everyone. Congratulations. On behalf of all of the faculty at Lafayette College, I am so happy to be here today to honor your distinguished academic achievements. I recently came across the following quote, which I thought was really relevant for today's event. Always be a first-rate version of yourself instead of a second-rate version of somebody else. And that's Judy Garland. With all of your hard work, your dedication and focus, you have truly shown that you are all first-rate versions of yourselves. I know that the past few years have been challenging in many ways. Being a college student in the midst of a worldwide pandemic, social injustice, war, gun violence, the loss, pain, and social dislocation of this time has undoubtedly impacted all of you in profound ways. Yet you have persevered. You have built resilience. That resilience will anchor you through good and challenging times. Our world needs your resilience, your perseverance, your authenticity, your creativity, your innovation, your care, your empathy, and your passion, your joy too. We are so excited to see you take your first-rate selves out into the world and to watch you do and accomplish amazing things. The future is in your capable hands. And now, bring on the fireworks. And finally, please remain seated until the stage party has recessed to the back of the chapel. It is raining outside, which is wonderful in my eyes because I'm from the Pacific Northwest. Go rain. Please join us, though, in an indoor space for a reception, and that will be in Kirby Hall of Civil Rights lobby, just a short walk from the chapel. I'm sure many of you know exactly where it is. And one more round of great applause for these first-rate people, students, over here. Thank you.